Piers Morgan interviewed Kirk Cameron on his show, and during the interview, he asked the question of whether or not gay marriage should be legalized. Now, here's what Kirk Cameron had to say.
Do you think homosexuality is a sin?
I think that it's unnatural. I think that it's detrimental and ultimately destructive to so many of the foundations of civilization.
So what do you do if one of your 6 kids says, "Dad, bad news, I'm gay"?
I wouldn't say that's great, son, as long as you're happy. I'm going to say, you know, there's all sorts of issues that we need to wrestle through in our life, and just because you feel one way doesn't mean we should act on everything that we feel.
See, that is the most consistent theme among conservatives talking about gay issues. Just because you feel it doesn't mean you should do it, right? So we see Alan Keyes talking in that way. Remember, he kicked out his lesbian daughter. He's the crazy conservative who ran against Barack Obama in Illinois for the Senate seat back in the day. Michael Savage wrote that semi-autobiographical book where he talked about wrestling at night with his demons about how much he loved men and wanted to, you know, wrestle around with them, literally.
Yeah.
And, you know, but all of them come back to this thing of like, but that doesn't mean you should do it. What's amazing is how much they want to do it. Like, to me, I'm thinking like, all right, if you want to do it, go for it. I'm in favor of freedom, right? I'm an American. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. What do I care, right? It's got nothing to do with me. But to them, they're like, oh, God, it's so tempting.
Yeah.
But I guess you shouldn't do it because in some book I read said so.
Yeah, I feel horrible for those people. You know, the people who basically let that religion dictate their entire lives to the point where it's dangerous, like where they can't act on their own natural sexuality. It's ridiculous. But look, he got a lot of crap for what he said in that interview. And the thing is, like, I completely disagree 100% with what he said. However, he has a right to say it.
Of course he does. Look, he's a private citizen. He's not a politician. So, you know, politicians you got to fight back against to make sure that it doesn't get into our laws. A private citizen you can also fight back against. We disagree with him, but he's got every right to say it. Not everybody has to agree with everything we think, like we don't have to agree with everything they think. So it's a good exchange of ideas. There's nothing wrong with it.
Now, Piers Morgan, actually, TMZ caught up with Piers Morgan to ask him about that interview, and here's what Piers Morgan had to say.
With the whole Kirk Cameron thing, he made those comments about homosexuality. How did you feel about those comments?
Well, I felt that he was, you know, he was honest to what he believed, and I don't think he was expecting the kind of fury that it's created. I'm not sure I did, really. It's been trending worldwide on Twitter for 25 hours, but it's a very contentious issue. I mean, you've got all these candidates now in America talking about these social issues, and he just went square for it.
Look, I generally agree with Piers Morgan. I think it was brave of Kirk Cameron to say. Now, it seems weird to say that a guy who, in our opinion, is being hateful towards a segment of the community is being brave, but he is going to catch a lot of flack for it. He is in the minority at this point in the country. So for him to go on TV and go, yeah, I think homosexuality is unnatural. You know, in the old days, that wouldn't have been brave at all because that was what a lot of the majority thought, and then they would have pretended to be brave. But in this day and age, he is in the minority. You know, some people might view this as, you know, he believes in his religion and what can you do about it? But I don't want people to get mistaken. It's not just that we disagree with his religion and so that is what it is. No, remember that these people are making a political decision to single out a certain portion of the Bible to emphasize. So they're not, Kirk Cameron and the rest are not taking out the portion of the Bible that says eating shellfish is an abomination. So they're not going nuts about shrimp and lobster, right? They're going nuts about homosexuality for a political reason. So it's not just an argument between religious people and non-religious people. It's an argument about people who have chosen to find hate in the Bible. And that's why we disagree with them. But that fact is, I think, so well out there at this point. We've done a decent job of fighting back through all of these years against that, that I think that Kirk Cameron is in the minority. So in some crazy, perverse way, he's being brave by saying, yes, I am the guy who's focusing on the hate. You know?
Yes. And by the way, that's really great news. I mean, right now with all these culture wars, the war against women, you feel like the country is devolving. But at least with some issues, we're progressing. And that's a little bit of encouraging news and all the horrible news that we cover on a day-to-day basis.
Now, the only thing left in this, when it comes to those things, we're at that point now. It looks like we're tipping over the edge, and there's more people that have a full, least hateful thought process on this. Is then don't throw hate at him. If you want him to at least to see your point of view and see the logical side of it, we have logic on our side. So then what you do is you talk to him, rather, because obviously I think as Piers Morgan mentioned, he's probably catching a lot of hell now. And that's not going to change his mind. It's just not going to do it. It's going to make him bunker down and stick to his views even harder, actually. And you're not getting anywhere like that.
But you're not going to change Kirk Cameron's mind.
Yeah, definitely. And who cares about changing Kirk Cameron's mind? Oh, you should care about changing the people who are seriously, genuinely curious as to what homosexuality is, whether it's something you're born with, is it something you learn? Those are the people that you reach out to. People who are already set in their ways like that are never going to change.
Yeah, or not likely to, and certainly we're not going to change them over Twitter.